Hey kiddies, it's Triple Feature Tuesday, and this week we're going to look at Angela Bassett and her asshole musician husbands. That's right, I love Angela Bassett. If you don't love Angela Bassett, we're probably not going to be friends. There's this great actress that falls under those categories of other great actors and actresses where it's like, I love them, but I wish they were in more movies that I wanted to see. Which is not to say that she makes bad movies. Not at all. It's just, they're just not the things that I like. Why can't she make more movies like, Vampire in Brooklyn, or Supernova, or Critters 4? But it was among all the different historical and or real life great black women that she's played in her career. She's played a bunch where she is a singer, or at the very least a wife of a musician that is in some way horrible to her. And so I thought we'd explore that this week. I'm going to violate unspoken rule that I try not to violate too often where, feature TV stuff. But our menu is going to include the episode of the 1990s Flash called Beat the Clock, the TV movie Jackson's An American Dream, and What's Love Got to Do with It? Upon rewatching, this might be one of the better episodes of my beloved 1990s Flash TV show. Focusing more on Barry's crime lab sidekick / partner, Julio Mendez, played by Alex Desert. Julio's best friend and, surrogate brother, Wayne Cottrell, brilliant jazz saxophonist, is on death row. He's going to be electrocuted at midnight for the supposed murder of his wife, Linda Lake, played by a pre-fame and fortune Angela Bassett. The evidence against Wayne was largely circumstantial, and as it turns out, there's new evidence that might exonerate him. If only there were a superhero that could move faster than light to save the day. Now, it was interesting. The episode is neat for a lot of different reasons. First and foremost, it happens just about in real time. The episode starts in the episode at 11 o'clock and ends by 12, and then there's a little epilogue a couple weeks later. And so there will be clocks throughout the entire episode letting you know time is running out. It's very high noonish in that sense. It's also a good showcase for Alex Desert's character, Julio Mendez, who up until this point, comic relief, exposition, sidekicky type stuff. But this episode we get a lot more of his backstory, more so than just seeing his girlfriend from time to time. And we have an actual mystery that does need super speed to solve, which, how often does that actually happen on a Flash TV show? Well, actually it does a lot. But either way, a lot of great performances. Angela Bassett, just great. But what's fun, the order of the movies this week is we go in increasing order of horribleness to Angela Bassett directly by her husband. And as it turns out, her husband didn't kill her. He was a, kind of a jerk, and they had a fight, and he ran off with some floozy named Susie Storm. Yeah, I caught that name too. Turns out his conniving older or younger... It might be younger brother, but taller, played by Thomas Michael Ford of Martin Lawrence fame, framed him and killed Susie Storm instead of Linda Lake. And Linda's still alive, and more Angela Bassett in the episode. And a lot of the it was fun, if only to see the racial balance of the show flip for an entire episode, where it's predominantly a white cast, and now we're going through a largely African-American cast with the, of course, brilliant Angela Bassett, who does a lot of singing. That's what's kind of goofy about this, despite her being near or involved in the music business in all of these movies. She doesn't really sing that much in the more famous ones, which we'll get to. But this one, we actually get to hear Angela's voice, and she sounds great. She's singing all these old great jazz standards. We got Thomas Michael Ford. Oh, and Ken Foree playing Thomas Michael Ford's enforcer, the aptly named Whispers. And he's a suitably scary threat, even for the fastest man alive. And, of course, John Wesley Shipp as Barry Allen, The Flash. There's this one moment. There's a lot of good Barry playing out his childhood fantasies of being a superhero in this episode, but the best one is when he goes to talk to Wayne Cottrell on death row. He's talking to him, and he's trying to look cool, and there's this one part where he puts his foot up on a chair and leans into him, and he's in the full costume, so he looks completely ridiculous. And so it's just a very good episode. Great Angela Bassett in it. And, only moderately like a thoughtless husband, as opposed to out-and-out jerk. As opposed to in Jackson's An American Dream. Angela plays Jackson's matriarch, Katherine Jackson, who had 10 kids, 9 of them lived, married to Joe Jackson. And it's hard to come up with an actual read on what kind of a man Joe Jackson is. Because on the one hand, seems like a very violent and abusive guy. On the other, he really did beat talent into his children, so that is an achievement. Angela plays second fiddle to a lot of different characters in this movie. I think you get to hear her sing a little bit in the beginning, like during the courtship phase with Joe and Catherine. She's there to play the wife in the background for the most part, but as the movie progresses, she takes more and more of an active role, and things happen like Joe cheating on her and stuff, and her freaking out. When I say freaking out, I mean, yelling at him because he's cheating on her. Joe Jackson really doesn't come off well in this movie, mainly because he is just a stern taskmaster and beating the shit out of his children to get them to perform better, which may or may not be fueled by his own failed dreams of fame and fortune. But it is successful. The Jacksons are a thing, and they were fantastic. But it gets silly at different points. Like, me and my brother used to really be obsessed with Michael Jackson, so we watched this a lot. Not that I'm complaining, because I enjoyed the movie too, and I love Michael Jackson too. But one of our favorite recurring moments, which turned into a recurring phrase, is, "Who left a towel in the pool?" When Joe Jackson, after they've made it. The Jackson 5 are a thing, and they've got this palatial mansion, and one of the kids left a towel in the pool overnight, and Joe is freaking out, and he's like looking to get his kids to cut him a switch to beat him, and Angela Bassett is like yelling at him, "Joe, you can't beat your kids! They're 20 years old now!" And it's just really absurd, but probably happened, and that's really, really just sad. But a lot of great performances by everybody. They use a lot of good covers of the Jackson music, so it works. And if nothing else, there's Angela Bassett, and a heaping helping of Billy D. Williams as Barry Gordy. And I don't have to explain why Billy D. Williams playing Barry Gordy is awesome. Now we're at the main event. What's love got to do with it? Angela Bassett's portrayal of Anna Mae Bullock, a.k.a. Tina Turner, got her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, the first African-American to win the Best Actress Golden Globe. Angela, just incredible. It's fun, because if you look back at her movies before that, her arms were seriously big. Like, she's just a muscular woman, but she got even more muscular for this one. This one, it appears. And it totally works. Of course, Angela is dubbed by new covers of her songs by Tina Turner because, well, much like with Jamie Foxx with Ray, you've got a great singing voice. You just don't have arguably one of the greatest singing voices that's ever been recorded. But it works because Angela's got the dancing and the choreography and the movement all down, and she just looks wonderful the whole time, and it's a lot of good Ike and Tina Turner music. Then there's Ike. Ike was probably one of the worst people in the music industry, because just rampant jealousy and insecurity, and then drugs led to just beatings and beatings and cheatings, and he's just terrible. He comes off so bad in this movie, which is a testament to how good Lawrence Fishburne is, because among all the horribleness, Lawrence Fishburne is very smooth in the beginning of the movie. There's just a lot of great little moments that show you why Tina would have fallen in love with this guy. In addition to all the horrible physical violence done to Tina Turner, Lawrence Fishburne's doing a lot of acting with his eyes. Like, really watch him react to things happening in the movie, and you get the whole story of what's going on in this guy's diseased brain throughout the whole film. And it's great. It's a wonderful story of Tina coming to fame and fortune and rising above it and not letting herself basically die. Because, Ike would have beaten her to death, literally, instead of beating her to death temporally. I think Angela might be done with doing the biopics for now. I don't think she's done one in quite some time. I think the last one was maybe the Rosa Parks movie, which is good because let's get Angela doing some fun stuff, like not like the Green Lantern movie. Which, don't get me wrong, if any skinny person is going to play Amanda Waller, it should be Angela Bassett. But no skinny person should be playing Amanda Waller. She's the Wall. Why I don't understand. Well, right, because she turned down Storm. Because that was one of the frustrating things for the X-Men movie for me, was that she didn't play Storm, because she's perfect for Storm. But she rightfully turned it down because it just wasn't that good a role for her, or Hallie for that matter. But anyway, Angela Bassett and her asshole musician husbands. Track down the movies, they're worth it. Track down the episode of The Flash, because that's always worth it. And I'll see you guys next week.